are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BT27 Metagame tier list live stream, birthday live stream with none other than the King of Invoker himself, Peter Dance.
Hello, everyone, and I hope we have a nice little time today.
Yeah. Today we're gonna be looking at a bunch of leaders from taking the post-Banlist metagame into consideration. The very, very big Banlist metagame.
The huge ban list. Oh, the huge ban list.
The huge fucking Banlist, mate. So, let me bring up the tier list. Okay, so, Hey Darren, thanks mate. Thanks a lot. I am old. Please send help. So
I haven't got the link, by the way, or to see the tier list.
You just click on the stream. Basically, it's a single-use tier list, so I can share it. So if you go on stream,
okay. So yeah, I'm on the stream.
Hey Greek, thanks mate, thanks for the sub, thanks for supporting us this way here on Twitch. So, you all know the drill by now. Tier 0 OP should be banned. Tier 1 meta defining, the best decks in the meta. Tier 2 competitive, you can't top with these will be topping. And yeah, you know, but they're not meta defining. Tier 3 rogue, maybe they can top here and there. Then it's locals. Like we always say, there's nothing wrong with X being locals. Locals is some of my favorite, most fun decks in the game are locals. Like Invoker, ask Peter. There's no one, Peter. Then we are at tier 5 trash, that's self-explanatory, and of course tier 6 Toba token tier. There were 7. Peter, do you know that there were 7 tiers, but I've deleted one before we started.
Oh, what was the 7th tier?
Fusion World product prices. That was tier 7.
Fair enough.
Oh man, let me just catch up. Prince of Arkham. Where are you? You told that you are on holidays. Yeah, I'm home. I'm on vacation at home. When you're in Denmark, you don't leave Denmark. No. I'm working on something. I cannot tell you what it is, but Peter saw it. So we're working on something. That's why I'm on a break at the moment. So, and sorry Pete for cutting you off. Greek, thanks for the sub, mates. Mate, thanks for supporting us this way here on Twitch. Thank you, buddy. It's a card game thing. Yes, it is. It always is. So, Peter, are you? What do you think? You're ready for us to spread some opinions? Some opinions.
Yeah, definitely. I want to see a lot of the new leaders. Obviously, there's going to be quite a few leaders to go through, but I'm looking forward to where we talk about putting some of the newer leaders in this list. To be honest,
so we have to go through some of the old ones first. So
yeah, definitely.
What do you? That's just fucking tier list putting them like this. What do you think? Let's start with everyone's favorite leader in the game. What do you think of Mr. Hatch?
Good old Hatch.
Yeah.
I think Hatch is rogue. I think it can do well, obviously, but I think it's one of those, for me, Hatch is a good idea of a rogue deck. If it's facing against a deck that just spams lots of 4-drops.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably going to have a good time. But if it's playing against a lot of green decks that have a lot of 8-drops or Shadow Dragons, then I can imagine it's going to be a bad time, personally.
Yeah.
But so I would personally say rogue myself.
Hey Birin, hey mate. So rogue. Hey Sunny, I see you. We will get to Shrumans also. I agree with you. I think Hedge is rogue. So.
Yeah, and of course, chat. It's always good when you guys let us know your opinions as well. Sometimes it might sway us, sometimes, but sometimes it won't.
I mean, Peter, I feel like we only have people's favorite decks one in a row, because next one is Cooler Mill.
Yeah, I was going to say we should include, when we do this tier list, even though we haven't played with the new TP cards from the one that's released, what is it, April or May?
Mm-hmm.
I think we should definitely take them in consideration when dealing with this list as well, because of course I think Cooler gets weaker with those TPs. Yeah. I could be wrong.
I will just put it like this then. 1 second, mate.
I think it's worth including the TPs, because obviously, it's got the staples for each color. I don't remember what else is actually in the TPs, to be honest. All I remember is there's a lot of garlic support, which is really good.
There is, for a couple of decks, we can add those at the very end.
So, and you've got all the Master Roshi stuff as well.
Yeah. You have Oob and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can talk about Cooler. I don't rate Cooler myself personally. I'm kind of thinking tier 3, tier 4. I know that's gonna get me probably some hate, but yeah, I'm not really feeling Cooler, to be honest.
I'm also feeling like Cooler with that new Zamasu running around. Let's say, Sunny is making a good point, like Goku is good. You must be a bit louder, Peter, less loud. Peter is a loud man. So, okay, let me know if it works better like this. Because I'm not using earphones, so I'm kind of juggling so that you don't get a loop. Basically. Okay, so, Cooler... New Goku is good for Cooler, the SR. Then there is the Zamasu, which just kinda... I would put Cooler in Rogue, probably. I would put him in Rogue.
If you want to put him in Rogue, but I kind of feel like, I don't know, locals or tier 4, tier 3 is fine. So yeah, we could go with tier 3, especially to keep Sonny a bit happy as well, since... He doesn't really feel like tier 4 is the right place, right?
Yeah. So, we have... I'm going to let you talk about this one.
Just put it tier 5. Just forget about it. Move on.
What's this? Jeffrey is here. Hey, Jeff. Hey, mate. Thank you so much, buddy. All hail the great Hatch. I absolutely agree. So, you say tier 5. No.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Okay. Tier 5. Get rid of that trash.
Nah.
It needs too much to try and compete now. Like, obviously, as tier lists have got on, I've always tried to argue it to be higher, like tier 4, tier 3 maybe, and I feel like it's still fine. But every single set with the power creep, I just feel the deck gets weaker and weaker and weaker. There's obviously some new toys in the new set, like the Goku, which is a U7, so I can use my leader skill quite easy. But yeah, I feel like I don't touch the deck anymore as much as it pains me, but so I think we just leave it there.
1 second, guys. I'm just checking the TPs basically for April, just to make sure that we have those leaders included. So it's Shlonku, Oob, I think Roshi's here, Frieza swap, Garlic, Goku.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Frieza swap. Forgot about his support.
So I'm just bringing up stuff while I am downloading the leaders. So okay, let me just find them.
The leader we're about to do next is SS3 Goku.
Yeah, I'm just downloading the ones that are missing basically. So
I mean, the decks we're covering, Real, is sorry, I just got interrupted. Yeah, the decks we're talking a range of, like, obviously very relevant decks, but also, you know, the decks that, you know, we just want to talk about and bring up. So not every deck, because there's too many, and we want to keep it relatively short, because I think last time me and Damien did a tier list together, it went on for quite a while.
yeah, we were talking about. Well, we were spreading opinions around, basically. You know, that's our favorite thing to do, spreading opinions. So, give me 1 second as I am just going through things here just to add the ones that are missing. So Shlonku, Oob, Frieza, Garlic, Yellow Goku, and I think I am also missing Roshi as well. So 1 second, guys, we will be back on track. Just a moment for me to add the leaders.
March they actually come out. So April. So actually, to be fair, there's like so they're actually out quite soon. To be fair, so yeah, it's definitely worth bringing them up, because, well, they're out in a month's time. You know, and I think I mean, I don't know if we have any Yellow Garlic Junior fans in the chat, but I've never played it. I played against it, but when I look at the Z Unison, like, I'm like, okay, this is actually a pretty good deck, or it feels pretty good. Now, obviously, it's probably not tier 1 good, but it feels like a good deck. Like, I look at the cards and I'm like, you know what? That's definitely a huge improvement for the deck, and it feels really good. You can awaken quicker. It's in your Z deck. You don't have to run a shitty Unison in the main deck, which frees up slots, especially because you're so heavy archetype. Yeah, big fan of it.
Okay. Sorry, Pete. I've added the leaders, so we can continue.
Happy days.
I cannot show you super secret information, so we need to go. So I need to bring the thumbnail up. Now let's go. SS3 Goku.
Yeah, we don't care about NA.
Yeah. You think SS3 is tier 2 or rogue? I think that this. I think this deck is bad. I think that this deck is just bad. Like
I still think this is rogue. I don't know why. But SS3 only does well in NA. I don't know what it is, but it now and again can do well over here. But yeah, most of the time it just does well over in America. I'm not really sure why.
Yeah. Well, basically the idea is, I mean, Evo did phenomenal with it. Evo is the only person in NA that does well with this deck. But yeah, it's also a big surprise factor, and it's people not in the heat of the moment realizing that you just kind of have to punch him once he plays Ready to Rumble. So when you start punching him, he doesn't really have that much defensive power anymore.
The other reason I think it's a good location to put it as rogue, because when we're in a meta where we have tons of counter players, that's where the deck's going to struggle, because you tap out 4 for, say, Ready to Rumble, and then they pay, say, 1 or 2 to and kill you Ready to Rumble, and then you've obviously then got to rely on your Zenos or D-Magics to then kind of scramble back to gain your energy again, to try it again. So I think that's another reason why I feel like it's rogue, because it can do very well, but if people are prepped for it, I think it doesn't do well.
We're gonna move now to SS4 Goku Xeno, but before that, for the 30 of you here, thank you for dropping by, guys. I appreciate this a lot. And I got word that BT28 is coming for pre-order next week from distributors. So if you've missed on 27, I'm saying this first time for you, and then I'll talk about it in a video next week. If you missed on pre-orders for BT27, make sure to tell your stores next week to start pre-ordering 28, because the window closes around the 20th of March. Okay. So, hey Jeff, now we're just chilling. So, Peter, are you ready for this one? What do you think now that Beyond All Limits is gone?
I think it's okay, you know. I know it might sound wild. There's one disclaimer. I don't really play this deck much. I play against it, but I feel like, yeah, Beyond All Limits is a good ban. It's a long time coming. I think the deck will still perform without it. I think what will happen is where you might sort of consider it, say, as, you know, tier 1 before. I think it will probably, you know, be more like a tier 2. But I think the deck is still fine. It still can be super fast. But I think it also does lose some of its power.
I would agree. I usually put him into 1. I think it's 2. It's more RNG dependent and more glass cannonish. Now you have to win like first 3 turns, and if you mill some of your key pieces, there is no way of getting them back anymore. So it's more fragile, but it doesn't lose when it comes to power to actually punch you. So I would. Yeah, I
was gonna say I always love reading chat. Like no matter, even if they agree or disagree, I always, because again, it's a conversation we can all have, guys. So
yeah. Shroom and Salsa. To me, Shroom and Salsa has always been like a rogue deck. Like it's.
I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to Demon Realm races, you can just skip my opinion. I fucking hate Demon Realm races. Like I'm so bored of Demon Realm race. I just don't want to play any of them. I just hate them all. So you can put wherever you want to with those bloody things, because I hate them, mate. I just hate them.
Yeah, I think we can put Shroom and Salsa into Rogue. Like, it's a deck that can obviously top. We have seen it top, but you need to be an insanely good pilot to do so. And even then, it's an uphill battle. So that's not a competitive deck, in my opinion. Competitive deck tops often, and almost anyone can pick it up and just do well. This is more like pilot skill heavy. Don't lie. You were only telling me the other day how you wanted more.
I can't stand it. I really can't. I've had enough of them, mate. I've had enough.
How about the... Okay, I'm gonna put... I always put this skill as Gohan into Rogue, and then no one plays it, mate. Like, my argument...
I think it's got value, mate. I think it's got value.
I think it's got value. It has insane boards. It has great energy on tap. And we are talking about not only new TPs, we're also talking BT27 legal. So you have access to Vegeta now as well to push for that final damage. So I think it's still in Rogue, in my opinion. So, yeah. Since All isn't here with us, Bojack. I cannot comment on Bojack. I have Bojack built. I've tried it billions of times. I suck. I suck at Bojack.
I think Bojack's in a good place. I think obviously he's got 2 new support cards, which is really good. One thing we do have to be cautious of, I'm curious about, because what color is it in? You know, which color is it that stops the bottom decks with the new TP cards? Is it green?
Yeah.
And green have a really good time, and green's quite strong. So I think, cause let me have a look at the green one for 1 second. It's the Goku one, isn't it? I think
it's when you play him, your opponent discards 1. It's a 5 cost, and your opponent cannot bottom deck things.
Yeah. See, I'm scared of that. a little bit, like, because obviously we are talking a little bit about the TP cards. I think if we ignore that for a second, I think especially with the new cards, Bojack's in a good place. But I feel like green is going to be one of the best colors going forward, and I'm very scared about that if I was playing a blue deck that wants to bottom deck mid-battle. You could blank it with the Deborah, but yeah, I think, or like bottom deck it with. Oh no, you can't bottom deck it with Buu. Yeah, I think it's still a good deck. I would probably still consider it as a competitive deck, but I think it's very niche in terms of who can play it.
Yeah.
But I think it's competitive.
We are taking these new ones in consideration because we were just talking, and it's like what, 2 events in March, and then the new TPs are legal. So that's why we were taking them, because it's worth talking about them. Otherwise, there's not much changing in the metagame. It's what we have now. Thank you, Bandai, for an amazing ban list, by the way. So, Widell, I'm just gonna throw Widell into locals, Peter. There are some decks here that just go into locals. There is no point in talking about them. Green Buu, I love Green Buu. I've placed him here because of the new support that it got. But I think that this deck is still locals, mate. Like, this deck is... He's like Shroom, and it's also just worse. So...
Yeah, the barrier will help the deck, but I don't think it's going to be a contender anytime soon.
Well, we are talking about the new set. We're just trying to nail the metagame in a broader aspect. So, yeah. Okay. Kaba. I saw Kaba. I saw Kaba once on on EU, and that's like, and that's it. Like, I saw the deck once. I think it topped in NA or somewhere else as well, but I don't know much about the deck.
Yeah, Kaba's an interesting one because I think it is a good deck, and it's one of the few blue decks that actually have a floodgate as well, which is obviously very rare to see. So I think personally, I think it's a good deck, but we haven't seen enough results to really know if it's just like a rogue one-hit wonder. Because the thing is, people are probably forgetting about like the battle tricks with the 5-drop Kaba. And again, if we're talking about the new TPs, you could in theory stop some of the bottom decking as well. So maybe Kaba is a bit of an unknown one because there's not enough results. So maybe it fits into that rogue category, because I don't feel like I would put it in tier 2. But I feel like maybe it could be with enough results, but I think it's a bit of a hard one.
New TPs aren't that great. All the deck colors and yeah. Okay, actually, so I want to reconsider cooler because I'm just reading what Biren wrote. Baby Unison eats the Zamasu.
Yeah. There's tons of removal for every color because none of them have barrier. But the thing is, it's like the idea of these new cards, in my opinion, is you use them on your kill turn or on the turn that matters. So, for example, let's say you're against Bojack and it's 6 energy or whatever, right? If you play that, none of your shit is getting removed. And again, against Cooler Mill, let's say it's turn 5, you've got, 10 cards left in the deck or whatever. That's the turn where you probably would consider you're going to get milled out. But that's when you play the TP card and it's like, okay, now there's no mill coming my way outside of any on-play mill effects. So that's what I mean. I think you use these cards because they only cost 1 energy. I think they all actually cost just 1 energy. So the idea is you use it as part of your kill turn. A bit like TN, the very old one that would stop you untapping. You wouldn't just play it and hope for the best. You fucking, when they've got like 6 energy open already, you would play it when they've got 0 energy open because they're going to die that turn. So you take the same approach with these, I think, personally.
So because we have so many of them, let's rapid fire some. So where do we put Kaba, Peter?
Rogue, I think.
Okay. SSG Trunks. Hey Taz, thank you mate, thanks a lot. So SSG Trunks. I think this deck is cool. He does somewhat suffer from, I mean every deck black somewhat suffers from Beyond the Limits being gone. I think it's cool. I think it's not, how to put this, I think the deck is strong, but
yeah, one did well at the LCQ. One did well at the LCQ.
So, yeah, it's usually overshadowed by the other Black Saiyans.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it. So I would, because of it, I would still put him into Rogue. Like, you can top. We just saw that you can top. Sometimes it's just very hard to excuse taking, let's say, Trunks over Vegito. Like, it's not like you're doing something that's so drastically better than Vegito or Goku. So, but it's not a bad deck.
I would say out of all the black decks, the good thing about Trunks is he's probably the least concerned about the Beyond All Limits ban.
Yeah.
Compared to all of them. So I would probably consider him maybe slightly higher into tier 2, just because he also does have a kind of floodgate as well, not a really good one. So maybe I would consider it tier 2, just because he's less affected by some of the ban. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I can say bad opinions, Greek I am drinking, so yeah. I like Mai. I think Mai is a cute green hyper aggro deck, basically.
Hey, that TP is so fucking good. Yeah. The Trunks one, the one that if you've got, what is it, token in rest mode or whatever, get 10k crit or double or whatever it was. Or is it just 10k in game barrier? I forgot what it is, but yeah, that Trunks TP is so good.
Yeah, I think this deck is Rogue, I would say. When it comes to Mai, I'm like Rogue or locals, but I want to believe that the deck can pull enough weight to maybe top an event if it pulls well and then just steamrolls over opponents.
I don't think it's anything but locals myself, personally. But it is getting better.
Yeah. Okay, Pete, let's put it in locals then. So, one that said a lot of talk is actually Toppo Loco. So
this is definitely a lot better than it was a set ago. Yeah. And I'm a big fan of this deck, personally. I have tested it quite a lot. I still think I don't know. This one, I'm a bit biased. I think it's going to be decent, but it's not got any results to back that up.
Yeah.
So I guess you have to probably look at locals until results back it up. I would like to put it higher, and I think it should be higher, but there's nothing to back that up unless anyone in chat has like some real backup opinions. That, I mean, yeah, the new Z Unison is amazing for the deck, and like, and you can proper like lock people down with Toppo. I'm a huge fan of the deck, but I think it probably just, I don't know. I think locals is probably where it sticks at the moment.
Yeah. Well, Prince, you are convincing me to like put it into Rogue, but I wouldn't put it into competitive though when it comes to my. But for Toppo, I feel like Tapion is amazing. Tapion Unison in Toppo.
Yeah, it's insane.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
The yellow TP, unfortunately, the yellow TP is kinda ass. The one that prevents markers from being removed with skills. I mean, if you play versus green will just blow it up with almost any card that they have.
Oh, I didn't think about that actual new TP actually. That's a good point, and it's got barrier as well actually.
Yeah, but green is the only one that's most affected by it, in quote unquote. but green will just blow him up, and then they'll go for your unison. I'm not sure if other colors have an access to like a wider range of things that removes markers with skills. So
No, I think the Trunks would be a good card for Toppo, because it's good against the green matchup. Because the thing is, if they ran like the 8-drop Go Bros and stuff like that, you can really burn up markers really quickly. And you also had the swap Frieza that had, sorry, not swap Frieza, green Frieza that has the new 9-drop that can also remove tokens. So to be honest, the new TP card is fantastic for the green matchup. So you just side in against the green, so it would make your green matchup 10 times stronger. I think that TP does. So yeah, I want to put it higher, but I think for now, before chat explodes, the idea of Toppo being higher, I think locals is probably where it needs to go for now.
Okay. I would agree with you, because like I hear all of the arguments. I even gave some arguments myself, but he has good prison potential and all of that things. But then you're also stacking him against all other yellow decks and a lot of other things, and then it's like, if it also had an absolutely fucking insane boss monster, I would say like, yeah, okay, sure. Cell Reboot.
Cell is still a good deck.
yeah. To me, Cell is always like either 1 or 2. So I think lately Cell has fallen off. I would probably put him into tier 2, but I would not put him below it. So he's either 1 or 2 to me, personally. So
I kind of want to put him at 1 because he'll have a good matchup against Kid Q because he can keep removing stuff and he doesn't have to worry about Bunny Girl anymore.
Yeah.
He can spot removal any of the big stuff from Nova. He can... There's not that many... Off the top of my head, I can't think of like many decks that have tons of barrier-only cards. He's... Yeah, I think I agree with Chad as well. I think he is a 1.5 type leader. And there's also some interactions with the new, was it the yellow one from last set that you can evolve on top of a 1-drop cell. Because you could do it on top of the 1-drop that you play from your 6-drop leader skill, which is quite cute. Because I think that's a cell card. I personally would probably lean him more towards tier 1 than tier 2. But, and yeah, crit's good. He's also one of the only decks that have double strike as well. There's not many decks that have double strike, and double crit is never nice. So I personally think 1. If you think 2, then we can let chat to decide, I guess.
I don't want to make like a tier 1 1.5, so I'm like, let's just put him into 1. So he's in destruction, he deserves to be in 1. So Soul Striker, man. Every goddamn time I get to this deck, I look at everything Blue has generically, and I'm like, how the fuck is Soul Striker not amazing? How is this deck not amazing? And now
Soul Strike is like a bad smell, I think.
Yeah, it's
just hangs around.
I mean, now it also got the Vegeta as well. So you're like, dude, you have to be good. You have to be good, but there is no way that he's actually gonna be good. So I'm like...
Yeah, I think the awakening at 4 life is the big thing now as well. Like, yeah, I think if he came back to his pre-errated version, I think he would instantly be good again. But I think going down to 4 life just to do that is really shit.
Yeah.
So I actually I'm gonna go out and say locals tier, I think.
Part of me wants to put him in part of me wants to put him into Rogue, man. Like, here's the thing. I'm just gonna say, yes, 4 lives or less, that's shit. But we also have a lot of leaders that awaken like at 5 now.
Or 6.
Yeah, but last set was mostly 5 though. So, but those also take their own lives, like aggressively with their abilities. So, I don't know. Pete, I'm gonna throw him into locals. I don't think this deck is actually gonna see
Yeah,
play.
I think so.
One that I've tried out, one deck that I love so fucking much, is Green Raditz. And Green Raditz.
I'm gonna go to the toilet while you talk about this shit deck.
Peter has gone to do a Green Raditz in the toilet. Honestly, yeah, I'm also wondering what he has been eating. Not the black cards, apparently, because that's the one fucking thing that Green Raditz can't deal with. Before I pass judgment on it, New Nappa is very cool. New Nappa is very, very cool for Raditz. It's 1 energy. They warp 2. Your opponent draws 2 and warps 2. And then you KO 2 things. The big thing is because they warp 2, that's an automatic +1 to draw with your 1 cost Raditz. So he effectively increases your draw power by 1 as well, on top of being 20k. All of that being said, if you run into black, you lost, you can just go home. If you run into aggro, you pack your toys and cry. And I'm afraid that's not good enough. So Raditz goes here. No, he just came back.
I'm back.
Yeah. Yeah, he can draw like 3 cards with 1 drop. Yeah, you can do a lot now, but Raditz also missed like so much consistency. Peter, I'm done with Raditz. I threw him into locals. So
good to hear.
One of the problems with the deck is like, hey, if black is good, Raditz is bad, and black is good. So is it Damien's birthday? It is, Nino. It is. I am an old man now. Soon I will be like Master Roshi. So Peter Bardock. Like, I always put this deck high. It never does anything, but I always put it high.
Yeah, I'm sure Pog will hate us for it, but I think you have to go locals. I think all the new cards have supported it wonderfully. I think it's very heavy archetype, but they're still 20k. There's not really, I don't know. It's like, it is a good deck.
Yeah.
But I would never play it at a regional. Like, I would never take it. So I think for that reason, I would say tier 4.
Tier 4 for Bardock. Yeah, Peter is loud as fuck. Yeah, Peter is a bit loud as fuck. So,
okay, let me see if I can turn it down on my side.
Congrats, King. Happy me for having the honor to meet you. Happy me for having the honor to meet you, Nino. Thank you for all the support, mate, and I hope that you and everyone else is ready for the crazy shit that's coming out in March. So, anyway, you say tier 4.
Yeah, I should be better now, chat. Let me know if it's still too loud. Turn me down.
I would put it into Rogue. Just because it has things that it needs to be good, but no one plays it. Okay. The new Gohan promo plus the new Chile draws so much. Yeah, I know, Sunny, but like no one's gonna play Soul Striker, sadly. Yes, be sure to sign up for locals in 45 minutes. Okay, let's try to end this in 45 minutes. So, New Piccolo. I saw New Piccolo a bit at the locals, Pete. I think New Piccolo is a good deck. The new, sorry, not New Piccolo, the BT18 one, but he might as well be new.
Yeah, I think it's definitely from obviously that you support. So I think it's good, but I think it's Bardock. So if we're gonna put Bardock in tier 3, which I still think it's tier 4 local, then I feel like the Piccolo has to follow Bardock. I don't feel like it's better than Bardock. I don't feel like it's Bardock.
Is BT22 Janemba? No. No. We had to cut a lot. We had to... starter Vegito is not on this list, so is not BT22 Janemba. We cut a lot and we still ended with like 62 leaders. So you think because Bardock is... I think BT18 Piccolo is very fucking consistent, but I'm kinda leaning on that as well. I'm kinda leaning not into comparison directly with Bardock, but more like I still feel like it's gonna be a rogue deck.
Yeah,
whether or not it's good, better or worse than Bardock.
Okay.
You know what is in the list of leaders? Towa Token Tier Red Garlic Jr. Master Roshi with new support.
I think this is because you can recycle the field card, which means you're going to be able to get double strike on tap, and then I think it's going to be. I personally think it might even hit competitive, but we have to probably at least put it in rogue, I think.
So, you want to put it into rogue? I feel like...
I mean, I wouldn't say no to putting it into tier 2. Because it's a good deck anyway, and I feel like cards just work just for it. I really do. So if you want to put it in competitive, that is...
I think that I think that we... no way we're putting SG Trunks above my boy Piccolo. That's why I'm always saying never look what is up, what is down, because we have like 60 leaders. We would have 40 tiers if we look at what's everything that's up or down. I feel I would agree with you. Usually I put Roshi into rogue. I think he has the material to be competitive solely because he can now also recycle the field card. So I think we can put him into 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pan.
Pan's a very good. I think 2. I've played it. I don't think it's the best Saiyan black deck, but I feel like it's very. So personally, I would say tier 2.
Tier 2 for Pan. I would say the same. For me, Pan is in the same tier as Goku, basically. Now,
I think Goku's better.
Yeah. So I think Pan can also be right next to like Goku, though we're not doing left to right. So they're very similar. Pan has it easier going into like a more mid-range, longer game. She doesn't lose instantly like Goku if he doesn't kill you very fast and then has trouble adapting, but Goku is more aggressive. He punches a lot harder. So Hedo goes into locals. Hedo has very fucking cute interaction with Dr. Uiro promo, but that's it.
Do we not just put him in trash?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, because he can play Dr. Uiro, then restand an energy, and then go explosive dance. So he's now capable of fully tapping out on your turn to be aggressive without fear of not having energy for defense.
I'll trust you.
Yeah, he's a scientist. He's a scientist leader that doesn't tap on attack. So he's like Fu, basically, when it comes to that part. Okay. Okay, yeah, he does struggle with Floodgate still. Gogeta. I still think that Blue Gogeta is bad, honestly. Like, I don't think... But Blue Gogeta got Zamasu. That helps a bit, right? Yeah. So...
I guess we gotta look at tier 2, right?
Tier 2 for Blue Gogeta. I think tier 2 might be too optimistic for Aegis Gogeta. Sorry, not the blue SSB, the Aegis one. The blue-yellow one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck him in.
Into tier 2.
2 or 3?
Yeah, I think we can put 3, man. Like, I don't think that... I think 3 is okay. U7 yellow. I think that one is... hey, Bugman. I mean, like, U7 yellow, Pete. I mean, this deck didn't get anything or lose anything, though.
It does have access to the Broly, which could be interesting.
Mm.
But most decks have access. Plus, it can't really abuse the Z extra one.
Yeah.
But it does have some. It does have access to obviously the Z Unison. Because what is it? It remind me. Is it he can't have Z battle cards, or he can only have Z? Oh no, he can have Z Unisons, can't he?
Yeah.
So he does get access to the new Tapion, which is really good. I think Rogue. I think in that direction is what I think. It's like it's okay, but I think maybe tier 3.
You think 3?
Yeah, I don't think it's as good as some of the others.
You think 3? I think 2. I think it's... Oh shit, I pulled Piccolo up. I'm sorry. So, I want to say... 1 second. I want to say 2 for this one, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say with 2. I feel like the thing with Goku is... I don't feel like the deck is bad. It's more that the other yellow decks are better than it. And by other yellow decks, there is one.
Nova.
And that's Nova, and that's it. If you remove Nova, Goku is probably the second best one. So
yeah, sure.
Painfully Cumber is just... I like Cumber, mate.
I hate...
You hate Cumber.
Cumber, Fu, I can't do any of.
I've been putting Cumber into Rogue forever, and I'm finally gonna stop coping, and I'm just gonna chuck him into locals. Like
yeah, I think he's got new support, just kind of, but I don't think he's going to achieve anything.
Yeah. Like, I've been putting him in pilot skill, rogue, things like since he came out in BT20, and no one ever did anything except like Oli and Geo did well with him, and that's it. So, it is time, Peter. It is time for Android 21. It's time to get hated on by Americans.
By Americans. Does Android 21 have any new tools in all the Gamma stuff? Anything? I don't think she does, right?
Yeah, I don't think she gets anything with Gamas. The last thing that she got was Dr. Uiro, and that's it. Because she's also a scientist.
So I'm just laughing at JD.
Yeah. I really think that like this deck is awful. I really, honestly think this deck is just bad.
I think let's just shut that and let.
Yeah. I didn't hear Peter completely. He cut off, but I'm gonna say that he said chuck it into locals. Okay. Yeah. Apeco is tier 1 if you're from LATAM, and then it's just locals if you're not.
I love this deck so much, man. But yeah, they're all little fucking weenies, 15Ks. Yeah, it's going to be locals. But I'm a big fan of this deck. I've taken it to regionals. And I like the deck, but it's just not anymore.
Red Garlic Jr.
I have no opinion on this deck at all. Never seen it. No, I played against it once, but it's got new support, and so I'll let you and chat deal with this one.
I think that I see Tret. I see you here in the chat. I think that I'm gonna put him into local, not into locals. Oh my god! I think that the deck is like tier 3. I think that it's one of the decks which it's similar to Truman Salsa, and some other decks, like you need to play him very, very, very well, and then you can do very, very good with it, or you play it like that, like S, and then it's like trash tier basically. So it's semi-pilot skill, right? It's like tier 3. So now we're finally entering a more familiar territory.
Yay!
Oh my god, I have 2 Master Roshis here. Jesus, Roshi's so good, he's actually here twice. So, okay. Green, and oh my god, green. Blue Buu.
I think he's because I think if you understand what he does, he's a lot weaker, I think. Like, if you understand how many attacks are going to be coming your way and how much untapping, and I think he's weaker, personally. So I would say we chuck tier, I think, personally.
I didn't hear you. Which one you're breaking?
Oh, rogue tier?
You think Buu is rogue?
Yeah.
Shit, mate. I'm here thinking that Buu is like the best blue deck in the game, man. Well, he's not the best blue deck in the game, but I think that he's like, in my opinion, he's like tier 2 at least, mate. So, I'm more of a like Buu topped so much. Like Buu topped so much. And with Kitku being hit, I think Buu can go into competitive, mate.
I mean, there is an argument to that, definitely, because the Unison obviously could get hit before. I still think it's mostly a quote-unquote skill issue, because and when I say skill issue, I think it's like people not understanding what Buu can actually do and how many attacks and how his ability works with floodgates and that kind of stuff. Because, explosive dance is still gonna wreck.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the the Z Unisons are great. So yeah, I think you're right. It's still good, but that's why I would chuck him in Rogue, because I feel like once your opponent knows more about how to play against the deck, it's weaker. But that's up to you.
I'm really annoyed by these 2 fucking Roshis. Anyway, Blue Broly is just fucking locals. Like, I've played, in my opinion, I don't know, have you had experience with Blue Broly? To me, he's cute. You can say that he's trash.
I'd say he's trash.
You say that it's trash.
Yeah.
Okay, it's trash then. Yellow Goku Gohan, while fucking insane on paper, is like locals at best, I think.
Yeah, biggest disappointment is it should have been such a good deck, I think. Really weirdly good, but I don't know what it's missing, but it's missing something, right?
So, now we get to talk. Now we get to talk about some other things. Frieza swap. Oh god, Frieza swap. With new support. With new support. I think Frieza swap is gonna be fucking insane with new support. Like,
I think it's definitely gonna be a lot better, yes.
Yeah. You have the free drop that doesn't have limit 1 and draws. That's awesome. You have the dude that helps you go into the Z leader earlier and for free. That's really fucking amazing. You have you can go Tapion if you want, I guess. The 6 cost Frieza is fine. I'm not running it in my version. The 10 cost if you want. I think it is 10 or 8. The one that plays a 1 cost for 2 energy as well. That one is also good. If you go into it and you have a Z lead, you can play your entire chain almost for free. That's insane. Like, you can go up to 5 for free. So Nino is pointing it out. Also with new Frieza SCR. Because you're a Frieza leader. So you run the new yellow Frieza as well. I think this deck goes and always stays in competitive, in my opinion. So.
Oh, I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't boo into competitive, so sure we can. If we're putting, so sure.
I'm always feeling like this is competitive in a way that I think it's in a similar way to me as like Bojack or what we've played Turtle School and stuff. It's a deck that can top a lot, probably. Like, likely it has all the tools that it needs, and then no one proceeds to fucking play it. So, me Gogeta, the SS4 Gogeta. I
Locals.
think locals, yeah. The anti-green has barrier, but Noble play fighter some which will kill barrier, make discard. Yeah. Locals, yeah, that's fine. It has a cute thing where you can play him in an event where there's a lot of Zamasus and then you just they just cry against you and that's it. I do not dare to talk about this one, so I'm leaving it to you, Peter. Green Gohan.
It's not the best green deck. I think it's still fine. So, because I think like Nameku spoiler is gonna be tier 1. I think Vegito is probably tier 3. So if that's the case, would I consider this a second best green deck? Saiyan wise, I probably would. So I would say competitive, because that would be my logic between the 3 Saiyan green decks. Nameku tier 1, so that means Gohan has to be tier 2, which means Vegito is tier 3. It's kind of like my initial reaction.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think tier 2 for Gohan.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's the exact same logic Lung that is for Frieza swap as well. Like, it's an amazing deck that nobody plays. Yeah, I agree with you. So, SSB Gogeta. Like, this one is SSB Gogeta BT26. This
is a disappointment, I will say, because
yeah.
It's so good. Like, when you play the deck and you're drawing so much, it's so good. But then it just doesn't. I don't know what it is about it. And maybe it's people are building it wrong. But the deck just does not do enough. I don't know what it is. Maybe the little guys are too fair. I don't know what it is. Because, like, explosive dance is no issue for it. Yeah, I mean, that could be a good point. It could be the fact it's blue is the reason why it's not good enough. And obviously it doesn't have a floodgate. So yeah, maybe if it was a different color like red or something, maybe it would have been insane. But yeah, I think in this, it's like, I think Gogeta is a huge example of a deck that recently has come out, and you look at it and it's like, oh my god, this is so good. And even playing it, it feels pretty good. But then when you actually play it competitively, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess locals, I don't even want to put it in Rogue, personally.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would also slam him into locals. I would echo exactly what you said, mate. I feel like, on paper, this deck has fucking everything. Like, he's swinging with leader twice, he's drawing a bunch of shit, he generates a concerning amount of Z energy and stuff. The boss monster is okay, but it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. What did you say? You think Vegito is Rogue?
Rogue, yeah. I think because the thing is, he can't start doing his big boss monsters till turn 3. You can't draw that well compared to. You still draw a decent amount. The triple strike is still really good, but I don't think it's better than Gohan. So I think I have to go with TF.
I would agree with you on this one. The one thing that you also lose compared to Goku and Gohan, your engine is back. Like, you have to play the fucking SSB pieces and stuff like that, and it just kind of feels like anally bad. Zamasu we can chug, I think, into tier 1, just throw him up there. So, but I want to hear what you think about it. I still think like this is the meta defining deck at the moment. Like,
I think tier 1.
Yeah, I think it warps the meta around it. I mean, that's enough to be meta defining. It just warps. Like, if you saw LCQ results, so many decks now run close to 60 cards because of it. Like, that alone tells you that it's defining the meta. So then it's
I wish this deck was good. I really did. Frieza, man. Sorry, carry on.
I know. I'm also looking at it right now. Like, I've played it a bit. It's fun to play. It feels like it's doing things. Here and there.
I'm just laughing at Jay.
Yeah. Here and there, like, it feels like it's doing things. But I don't feel like it's doing enough, man. Like, it's...
Yeah, I think if they got rid of that whole gimmick with the 10 drops, I think the deck probably would have ended up being really good. Potentially. Or at least, like, maybe had it so you can free play them, or... I don't know. I don't know what it is that's wrong with the deck, because there is some really good cards in the deck. There's the... Is it the double strike, or is it the dual attacker? I forgot which is the... Oh, it's the 6-drop. Yeah, the dual attacker. Because that you combo with it and stuff. But yeah, I think this is a deck that I'm massively disappointed with the most. Mostly because obviously I wanted it to be set 1 Frieza. But yeah, I think this deck is not good enough. So I think locals level person.
Yeah, I think it's not. I think it's fun, but I don't think that it's more than locals. It draws a lot of cards. It can really draw a lot. The best thing that you can do is play the SER for free, and then swing twice with it.
Yeah. I'll let you talk about Fu, because I don't want JD to hate me.
Yeah, I have to talk about Fu now, because the channel points have been redeemed for Fu. Fu got support. And Fu got supported, got a new Fu card and a new Cumber. Now, is this enough for Fu to go above tier 4? Is it enough to push Fu into rogue territory? I think that Fu is about as threatening as a wet fart, but I don't know, man. Maybe a good player.
I mean I do feel like it's a tier 3 deck.
Yeah.
I think it's better than Cumber, which is obviously the comparable deck. So yeah, I think Rogue is a perfectly acceptable.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the same. It's a deck that has done very, very well until BT24 came out and Vegito came out. And then, because if you look at all the results, Fu was topping a lot. Fu was really topping a lot. But then you also see that the deck, after Vegito came out, Fu didn't really lose anything. He's basically outshined by other things. So it's not like a direct counter came out or something that really holds him back too much. It's just that the other things are better. So why Beyond the Limits ban kills Vegex, Sky, and fun decks to play? I know. I still think that Beyond the Limits should have been either banned or limited to 1 a long time ago. I am more disappointed that they didn't do enough with the ban list and then just hit 1 card when you have fucking everything else in there as well. So I'm like, sure. Should have hit more. They wanted to play it safe, and for some reason they hit beyond all limits. Fuck me, I don't know why. Androids. I think androids are cool. But nobody plays them. So that's
they got the new card, haven't they, as well?
Yeah, they got some new toys. I would stick them into Rogue. I think it's one of the better red decks that just people don't play. And that's it. It draws like mad. Now it has the new card that also has removal. That's also a way to kill the Zamasu as well. Plus it works in your deck. Because the Android 18 from previous set can also just kill Zamasu and then you can continue minusing and shit like that. So it's not like it's out of engine things that you're running. Okay, we're nearing the end. Hopefully we are. Let me see. Yes. We might make it by the locals. Tapion. I haven't played enough Tapion to actually have much of an opinion of it, but I did see that Tapion hasn't really been doing a lot in a long-ass while. That, yeah, I would agree maybe with Sunny that that the deck just doesn't do anything. What do you think, Pete?
Yeah, it's just a stally deck. Just goes to time and hopes to win that way, I think.
Yeah.
The only one I've ever played, it's literally gone to time. So
yeah,
I do not rate it. So I guess I want to say to you, like, it's definitely Rogue bare minimum.
Yeah.
Because it still draws a lot. It's still got a lot of counterplay. So I guess that's fine.
Yeah. Vegito.
This one that has been affected by the ban list.
Yeah.
The other Saiyans.
Yeah.
I would say, because of the amount of times you would go all limits, bring out the Vegeta crit, and then obviously put them all together. I think. I still think it's going to be a competitive deck, but it might fit into Rogue now. It depends on how much we think the Beyond All, because I think the Beyond All Limits hit is a big deal. Out of all the Saiyan decks we've got here, it's going to be the one that hit the most. Would I play it over Pan? Probably not now. Before, I'd probably put them on similar levels, but maybe not. So, a lot of chat is saying Rogue. I think we go with Rogue. I think on this one.
You think?
I think we follow chat.
With Rogue for Vegito.
Yeah. Why? Where were you thinking?
I mean, before, to me, Vegito was one. Vegito was tier 1, I think, before the ban list. Like, it was. It together with SS4 Goku, those two were like the best ones, right? Now, I mean, I haven't played enough Vegito. So, but I do see that all of them run like multiple Beyond the Limits, and I have seen the Beyond the Limit fucking shenanigans with the deck.
Yeah, that's the problem. I feel like the Beyond the Limits is a huge factor for the deck because you used to be able to pick tons of cards and because you burst so much as well.
Another thing with Vegito, we are in a very, very green heavy meta. Beyond the Limits helped you recover a lot as a Vegito when green comes in and blows up your barrier blocker shit and stuff like that and everything else. Now you don't have that recovery anymore. So green is just even better if it runs into Vegito. Okay. So Kitku, I think Kitku is tier 1 again. So I think
I think it's still tier 1.
Yeah.
It's a weaker tier 1, but I think it's still tier 1.
Red Wish King Piccolo goes into Tova token tier. Nuova goes into tier 1.
Yeah.
Those were the fastest one to do. I would say that Red Super 17, we're taking into consideration regional promos and TPs and stuff, and now it has the dude that gives everything critical that if it's under a Super 17, it gives it critical by default. And I think that's a massive fucking factor when it comes to Super 17. Because I am considering putting him into tier 2. Because two things that you have a way to give your things critical basically for free because you play it in your engine. And you have a Z extra that's free that gives a double strike on attack. And I think the double strike critical on like 30k plus bodies is a very scary thing to deal with. So Peter is being silent. I don't think that he played a lot of Super 17.
No, I don't rate it as a deck.
Yeah, okay, then
I've played against it once and I just... Oh yeah, this is trash.
Yeah, I think considering the new support, I would put him into tier 2. So, because
tier 2?
Yeah, listen to me.
You are insane.
Have you been listening to what I have been saying?
I have. You gave credit. Blah blah blah.
Do you know that Red Super 17 also has free combo on both turns? As activate battle, and it has the new Goku SR. So,
if that's okay.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit high, but you know, it's your birthday, so you get priority.
The new your Z extra is also free Z energy, so like Beyond the Limits is not Beyond the Limits. Defeating the Demon is 1 energy as well, so the deck is insane. So you know what's not insane? Fucking Cell. Yellow Cell can go fuck off into locals where it belongs.
I will say just this. It makes me want to slightly put it in rogue because one thing I will say about it, because I played against it the other day, and because I didn't know all the battle tricks it can do, it really caught me off guard. It's one of those decks that you'll lose to once, and then you probably shouldn't lose to again. But yeah, so locals or rogue is fine. But I do think it's a good deck. But like I said, only if you don't know its battle tricks, I think, personally. Because its battle tricks are awesome.
Yeah. But I would still say like I think everything that we have in rogue kind of wins outside of battle tricks. Like solely those. So
yeah, true.
That's why I would just thank you, Tarakara. Thanks a lot, mate. So now we get to exciting ones. Golden Cooler, and we are taking into consideration regional support. I don't know about you, Pete. I feel like Golden Cooler didn't lose anything with Beyond the Limits because you just you don't necessarily even run it. You just switch shit between warp and drop the entire time. You don't get your things back. So
I love the chat. We got like loads that say tier 1 and then just one person saying locals.
Yeah. It's
love it.
The Cumber. The fucking Cumber that's coming out. Jesus Christ, man. Did we talk, you and me, about the Cumber?
We've talked about it, but not like on cam.
Yeah.
We've talked about it in chats. I think it's definitely, I would say, at least tier 2. It's got stronger also with the Kid Coup nerf, because obviously the Unison is not just going to simply die, which is a huge plus. And it's got access to a lot of tools. It can draw, it can play stuff, it can give itself a beam. So I think the deck is decent. So I think it's at least competitive. Would I consider it tier 1? Probably not. Like 1.5, I probably would. So I think for that, I would probably lean towards top end of tier 2, I think, personally.
I would say, if I don't need to say this, I say the chat knows what the regional support does. You pay 2 for Cumber and then you play 4 cards. That's fucking insane. You play 4 cards for 2 energy, and then they buff
you play 2 plus itself.
And then your leader plays the 4th one.
Yeah, but the way you're saying it sounds like...
Yeah. I mean, like, you play 3 cards and then you can just get 4th from the leader. But you play 3 cards, yeah.
Yeah. Just didn't want chat to think...
Yeah.
Playing it.
One of them can be, let's say, Hatch, and then Hatch warps something. The 4 cost can be Goku, that's like a dual attacker. Or the Cooler, which is also incredibly strong. So I'm going to side with chat, and I'm gonna say that Golden Cooler is tier 1 after regional support. I think that this is definitely gonna be the best black deck going forward. So, hey Magiok, thanks a lot, mate. So I think that if we are looking, Peter, at the high end of tier 2, or considering like tier 1.5, I think we can put him into 1 then.
Okay.
Peter is like, well, Damien, it's your birthday, so fuck you, mate. I'm just gonna keep my opinion.
You know what? No, you know what I think it is, right? Because I've turned my mic down. I think sometimes when I'm like speaking, it's not now coming through anymore. So let me probably up it a little bit. Okay. I think that's what's going.
Okay. Now comes a controversial one, I think. So, Peter, have you played Red Jiren yet?
I have not. So this is where I'm going to rely on probably chat and maybe yourself if you've played it. I have not touched the deck. I didn't rate it when I've been looking at it. So my opinion is kind of not a positive one currently. I think, like, don't get me wrong, I've seen it a little bit played on tap. And I thought, okay, there's some cute things here. Like the Unison can hit for quite a lot. So yeah, for me, I don't really have an opinion, but what I do have is not strong.
Yeah, deck play it, well, stream it. Okay, so that's cool, because then you and me can play Jiren next week. I think Jiren is one of the best red decks at the moment.
Oh wow, okay, that's a very strong statement, brother.
Yeah, so here is how and why, right?
Okay, we're all listening to this.
First off, with your Z Unisons, you fly through most floodgates, right? Your Z Unisons are incredibly big. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people forget, how fucking big these things are. If you play a 1 cost and you +2 on it, it has 3 markers. You play the Piccolo Z over it, and he gets +20k. He's either free or, well, if he's free, then he's smaller. But he is 30 to 25k dual attacker, depending whether or not you play him for free or not. He doesn't have limit 1 on his ability. You can play multiples of him. Swings twice. The leaders activate battle is not once per turn. A lot of people, for some reason, I mean, we don't read cards. I don't do that as well. I see a red box and I say once per turn. Jiren's ability is not once per turn. Jiren is fucking huge. Like, Jiren is really, really scarily big. Effect and Empower doesn't perk on Z Unison his ass. Doesn't matter. Because what you do is you play Piccolo, you swing twice, and then you swing with Jiren, and you minus all of the markers from your Piccolo for like 30 plus K attack. And then you, the lines of play are weird. Like, you have a lot of cards that read like shit until you play them. Like the Sin, that's 25k Spirit Boost. Sin is good until you actually, he looks like shit until you play him. Because he's here to kill the Piccolo, to establish a 1 cost to +2, and then go into another Piccolo. I think Jiren is amazing. I really think Jiren is fucking amazing. So, but I see that a lot of chat is like, Jiren? Is Jiren strong? I think Jiren is nuts. I think a lot of his cards are shit, though. Like, his engine is not that good. But you don't run a lot of them anyway. You just run Piccolo, Jiren, Buu, and then the 1-drops and like 2 cents or something. Like, so you don't go super heavy. I think this is probably gonna be a deck that's gonna catch a lot of people by surprise. But I don't know, Peter. You tell me. Have I convinced you that Jiren is good?
No.
No. Okay.
I think the only thing that would convince me, or at least re-Luke, is if they fix the ruling to allow you to empower Z Unison on Z Unison. Then I would be a lot more down because you could chain them back to back. But the problem is, it's like once you've got the Z Unison on the field, you're not starting another chain again. So like, let's say they get it down to like 1 marker and just leave it there. Like, that's the same as killing it, I guess, really. So I don't know. I'm not sold on it at all.
I mean, you just you replace your unisons all the time. If it's on 1 marker, you just Spirit Boost yourself, and then you just play a 1 cost. So, okay, fine. I'm going to put him into Rogue. There we go. I'm gonna put him into Rogue. So, Oceanus is trash. Oceanus is okay. We can put Oceanus in locals, I think. So, I'm
basically
trying to
ban.
Yeah, Red Pan. Pan is not lower than tier 2.
I agree.
Yeah, I think we can just place her there. I don't think that she's tier 1 though. I think she's like tier 2. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think I would go tier 1. I think she's a strong tier 2. Because Pan has always been quite balanced. I think the problem with Pan is it's like as if Bandai only knows this one Pan leader exists. I'm not going to count the black because it's Pan Xeno, so it's not technically the same Pan. But like, I feel like they don't ever want to go, I don't know, let's bring Pan out in yellow or something. They would rather just go, anniversary box coming up, let's give Red Pan some more love.
Yeah.
Like, that's all they do. It's crazy.
Yeah. Majin Vegeta is, I think Majin is locals, mate.
Yeah, it's a real shame because I want it to do so much better. But I guess with the limit to the Gokus, it's really affected the Goku and Vegeta. I mean, that's a card that I think could come back to for often.
Yeah. Namek Goku. Namek Goku is tier 1, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tier 1.
Also one of the best counters for Zamasu, so because he just has so many shit to reshuffle things back into the deck. Frieza swap. And so swap. Oh my god, successor.
Yeah, this has had a huge support.
Yeah.
That Zarbon for the deck is crazy good. Like I feel like the Zarbon fixes all the problems Green Frieza had. Outside of the charging. But in terms of like, barrier or indestructible, those kind of things, it fixes that problem, which is fantastic. And it then makes your 10-drop more playable. So I'm a big believer in Green's success of Frieza. And the problem it still has is its charging. It doesn't have enough negate energy exhaust cards. So it has that weakness, which I think is going to keep it back a little bit. But it is a green deck. It does have access to Bloodlust. It's got the Zarbon, but it also lives and dies on that Zarbon too. So yeah, very good deck. I think at least Rogue.
Yeah.
Would I put it any higher? I'm not sure. Probably not. But I don't know. It's. I think tier 3 feels like a good place. I think.
Yeah. I'm thinking the same, because I was talking with Joe, and Joe really sold me on the deck. So, but I think that it might be able to compete with some things in tier 2, of course. But yeah, the Zarbon is huge. If you can get Zarbon off and then you just chain with a couple of other things, you can have it absolutely fucking insane turn 2, turn 3. But like you also said, Peter, it lives or dies by the Zarbon, basically. So,
and it's not searchable.
Yeah,
I think as well. If my memory's correct, with a lot of the cards.
Yeah, Green Trunks. That's Brad's deck. That's in locals. I'm sorry, Brad. Green Bojack.
I don't rate this deck at all.
You don't like this deck at all?
No, I would probably consider it locals, maybe Rogue at a push.
You're crazy, mate. Like, I think I would put Bojack now. I would put him into Rogue. I'm very close to putting Bojack into competitive. But
what does Bojack actually do, though, that like the other decks can't?
He draws a lot.
He replaces. He doesn't really draw.
No, he draws. Because he plays things for free from the drop that draw cards. And then his leader triggers and draws more. So, he draws a lot. He probably draws almost as much as Namegoku, but he doesn't do anything else. He's like a healing pod deck, basically. He draws. And that's it.
Okay.
It's very hard to say that you would in any world play Bojack over Namegoku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, like, what does the dude do? He draws. And that's it. Gamas. Now we're finally at new decks. Gamas. Pete, I think Gamas are the best blue deck in the game at the moment.
In blue, yeah, I guess so. Because the cell can do a lot of restanding, can't it? What is it? I think you bid off an energy and restand, is it? I forgot exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's yeah, of course it's good. Yeah, I agree. I think it is the best blue deck current.
Yeah.
So, I guess by that logic, it's got to be tier 2 at least, right?
I think we can. I'm between 1 and 2, honestly. Like, I would make an argument for 1, and then you tell me, okay? Besides
for 1, okay.
Besides everything that it does, it has one advantage over every other blue deck currently in the game.
Which is the Floodgate.
It has Floodgate, yeah.
Yep.
And it has 3 of them. So it has the Android Toppo, which is the big one, right? It runs Heroic Prospect, it runs Defending Friends.
But, yeah, I mean, not going to count Defending Friends.
Yeah, that one.
I'll put that out there.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Yeah. It covers the biggest weakness that blue has, basically.
I agree. I definitely agree with that statement.
We also don't know the potential of Bardock yet, because Bardock didn't get touched on the Banlist update.
Bardock?
The Bardock that allows you to ramp did not get touched on Banlist update. So The one where you spirit boost and you keep the energy that you have ramped in that turn.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really so sold on that right now, but
I would say the way that I would play it is you do Bardock, right? You stay at 6, and the next turn you go into 9 and you play Tragedy Overground. People are like, you can do Turning the Tide, you can do Tragedy Overground. Like that's... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think yeah, it's definitely the best blue deck, and I guess I'm okay with it being tier 1 because it has 2 floodgates compared to. But they are both battle card floodgates, though, which is a weakness. Because they can both be counterplayed quite easily. Because none of it, they're all auto plays. So yeah, okay. I don't mind it being tier 1, but I think maybe tier 2 is.
So okay. I think you've played this deck a lot, right? The Vegeta, the next one.
The red one?
Yeah, do you have experience with Vegeta?
Yeah, it's a great deck.
Okay, you have probably more than me. So I think Vegeta is... I'm already seeing in chat, it's either 1 or 2, people are saying.
I think it will be 1 because it actually has free plays as well, which is fantastic. I think it's also got the advantage of splashing into black. So you've got like the Nimbus Bardock, you've got the Cumbers. Like you can build it in a few different ways, and also you can either obviously go 2 different SCRs as well, and you've got the free plays from War, with the Vegeta and technically the Goku Black if you want to run it as well. You constantly fill up your drop again with swings. You're gonna run the new Goku 4-drop. You've got a free combo from your leader. You've got tons of filter. I feel like this deck is definitely tier 1 because everything about it is just good. Free combos, cycling, fill-in drop, free play. The fact it's red as well, so like you could also build it in the way where you have like I've seen a lot of people run the 1-drop Gohan, where when you combo with a skillless you draw a card, which again you can then use like the what's the Z extra called, the one for the U7 deck.
Oh Jesus, I know.
Yeah, well, that one. So then you can restand some of your U7 cards and give them blocker. And like, I feel like the deck is very good. And the fact you've got to play Saiyans is not a problem because all best cards are Saiyans, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I think tier 1.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think this is the best red deck in the game at the moment. So
yeah. There's a bad Kiku.
Okay. But it's tier 1. It is tier 1. I would say.
It's definitely tier 1. I'm just not sure.
I've not
played that. I've not played that matchup because the thing is, one is playing 30Ks, the other's paying like 20. But like that dual attack Goku, the one where on swing it minus 10K, like I think it's minus 10 or minus 15. No, is it 15? Might be 15. The dual attacker.
Yeah, it's minus 15. It's minus 15.
Yeah. That is so good. Like that card is so good as well. So I think it's a very good deck.
Then we have, I see, Nino, you must be celebrating Vegeta finally tier 1 deck, man. It's been forever. So
and the art on the leader is so good.
The green Pickle Dickle. So the green Mr. Piccolo. Well, I know, Peter, you've played that one, so
I played this quite a lot because I'm a fan of this deck. I like the mechanics. I think it's a very good deck, and I think it's It's got a lot of combo power. It's definitely not going to be tier 1. I want to say maybe it fits into. I don't want to say like I feel like it's stronger than Rogue, but then it probably isn't because it's still only there's still just 20Ks. But when you get the turn where you play the dual attacker and you put the again, they're all Namekins to me, so I don't remember who's who. But you put the one in the one that gives the 10K for the turn. Like you swing with the dual attacker, and then it's like a 30K dual attacker, restand 30K again. Like you do stuff like that, or like with the Lord Slug, it's got crit, but then you KO stuff, and so I think it's a good deck, but I just don't know. Like I feel like it should be higher than Rogue. I just don't know if it should be. Like if that makes sense.
I feel like it's a good deck as well. I had worst experience. I've bricked with this deck the few times I've tried it.
that is that is a possibility.
I would agree with you. I think he is in Rogue. I think we will be seeing this deck topping. I think it will definitely top. Out of all of the Rogue decks, it's probably gonna be the one that realistically has the highest chance to show up topping more. So
that's fair.
Yeah. Now one of the last black decks here is Mehi. I fucking love Mehi, man. I think this deck is fucking insane.
It's Steam born.
I don't feel like Beyond all limits really impacts you here that much. You don't burst with this deck. You go to like 5 or 6. Just because of her leaders, activate main and awaken and blah blah blah, and since then you're not really bursting anymore. You're just putting things back from warp to drop constantly, and then that's how you're fueling your Dark Core realms. I
will say, even though I don't want to talk too much about it, I will say I feel like it's probably one of the better, if not the best, demon base deck, because I really like when you awakened, you've got access to like the counter because of the Supreme Kai of Time, and I like that you've got access to a few extra tools because of that reason. So I think that's very cute, and obviously the new boss monster for the deck, and the Kai of, I think it's Kai of Time, the servant blocker. I think she's a double. Is she a double strike as well?
No, she is a blocker barrier servant that
restands at the end.
Yeah.
Like, so I am a fan of like that card is incredibly good for the deck. So I really like a lot of the Dark Overrealm stuff. Unfortunately, there's a few things it doesn't help to trigger. But I feel like it's the best Demon Realm deck we have. Even better than all the Shroom and Salsas. So I will say that at least.
I would say that like a Big Bossy Bandit reminded me here. He's not impacted by Beyond the Limits at all because he has his own version. So he's Demon Realm, so he can play Salsa instead. When I did the archetype tier list, and that one was before the ban list update and everything else, I've said that I think that Mehi is the best black deck that's held back by Vegito being better, basically, right? But Vegito is not good anymore. So I would still say that, he also has access to counter. That's a big one. He's one of the rare decks. I would say that, in my opinion, I think Mehi is the best black deck in the game at the moment. He is less, how do we put this? He is less fragile than Goku or Pan. So he's much more defensive. His hand is fucking insane. When you play Gravy and Putin, his hand is fucking insane. So I think this is the best black deck in the game at the moment. I think he's up with Cooler. Like, he's probably even better than Cooler. So, but that remains to be seen, of course. I would put Mehi into 1 if you ask me. So, I think if Cooler is 1, that Mehi has to be 1 as well.
Yeah, I probably agree with that. Like, I mean, I don't personally think Cooler is 1. I think Cooler is 2.
Yeah.
So I'd put Mehi in 2 myself. But yeah, if we're putting Cooler in 1, then I think you have to put Mehi in 1 as well.
Hey Ryan, hey buddy, thanks for dropping by. We're almost done. Almost done. We have the big Iron Broly.
Now this is a good deck.
This is a very good fucking deck, mate.
Yeah, this is very interesting deck as well. I think this deck's good.
You think this deck is going places? Is that what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's either going to trash or he's going like somewhere very nicely. You know? I mean, you and me tested it the first time that we were testing the Broly, right? And that was like fucking insane. When you put down the garlic, you're like, what the fuck do I do now, man? Like, so.
Yeah. Some crazy burst, and obviously the turn where you get your 8 drop out, give it like all the keywords in the world. It's pretty good. Good. And obviously, yeah, like you say, the garlic being indestructible is insane. And the fact it's like a swing block, double block, or that kind of stuff is insane. What's the one that you played before that again? Wasn't Lord Slug, was it? What's the best combo with Garlic Jr. and what's the one that's played before? It's not Lord Slug, is it?
You have Rudigarn, I think.
That is it Rudigarn I'm thinking?
Rudigarn is the dual attack double one that also KOs.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah. That's what I mean. So the turn you play the Rudigarn, and then you back it up with the Garlic Jr., it's just like, okay, this is good. And then in the same turn, you know, again, assuming you've spent your energy correctly, you can then bring out the 8-drop the Broly as well, like all in the same turn. It's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm dead here.
Let me just catch up. Putrilo is here. That's a name that I haven't seen in a billion years. Hey, mate, how you're doing? Broly is gold. Broly is difficult to play. Zamasu was good when everyone said it was tier 2, and now I think Broly is 1.5, says Ryan. Zarbon is good with garlic. If you can restand garlic with Zarbon, that's also fucking insane. Haven't seen that. Yeah, Nino. Just to say, Nino, that is the one from Anniversary box. Gravy and Poutine. When you play it, you draw 2, you discard 1, and then make his auto triggers to draw another card. So for free, you're drawing 3 cards, basically. And because Mehi puts 4 cards back, and Gravy Poutine discards 1, you immediately have for the next overround. Like, it's fucking insane. Back from retirement. Doing well, hope both are doing fine. We are, mate. We are. Nice to see you back, brother. So, Peter, Big Iron Broly, I would put him into 1. I don't know, man. The reason why I would put him into 1, I'm unsold. I'm not sold on him being powerful enough for tier 1. But I think he's gonna do similar to what Zamasu does. I think he's going to force decks to work and adapt around him, basically.
Yeah, Broly's a big boy, and it's and the 25k boost it's gonna get is insane.
Yeah.
It doesn't rely on floodgates. It relies on just pure power, which is kind of good as well. So I think when we're in a meta of 30ks, so fair enough, it feels like we might be maybe moving away from that slightly. But when obviously we had the 2 Shadow Dragons and Kid Q as like the main meta, and everyone was chucking around 30ks, the Broly leader is less impactful. But as we go back to, say, Zamasu or like the Cooler, for example, because a lot of those guys are like 15 or 20, I think they are.
Yeah.
Again, same with Vegeta. Vegeta's got a lot of 20Ks. So I feel like the closer or the more common we get to that kind of era, the stronger Broly gets. I think Broly is very weak in a meta of 30Ks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like tier 2 is where I feel it's good. I'm not sure if it's tier 1, but I would say it's at least tier 2.
Oh yeah, that's. I would say the one thing that I forgot, and I think you also didn't mention at all, the Z extra in Broly.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man. Like that can. I think if we factor in the Z extra, I think we can probably then push him into 1. I would say if you just chug the stupid Dr. Gero, the one that's like deflect barrier and nothing else. You fucking slam that thing under Broly, you shut down most decks in the game. Like, it's stupid. It's really stupid. So, yeah. Yeah, I would chuck him into 1 because of that. And I think that's the one thing that I want to add about the Z Extra. I think that's a cool card, but I think it's overrated outside of Broly. I think it works the best in Broly. So I don't believe, Peter, that we will be seeing decks pay 4 energy to Nimbus their opponent. So, or shit like that. Where are we now? I assume that Peter is not talking, so...
No, I'm just listening to what you had to say. There was nothing else to add.
Okay, so... Trunks Mai. Let me take care of this one. Trunks Mai.
Yeah.
This is my deck. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the promo, the one that kills Unisons, is fucking insane. Even outside of this deck, the Trunks Mai promo is one of the best green cards in the game. It's a 25k barrier double striker that removes a marker. For 1 energy, that's awesome. Outside of that, the deck is just the deck is roguelike at best, and that's it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I don't think that we are, that the barrier removal is... That the unison removal is that fucking extreme that we like put it so much higher. It's broken, it's green, exactly. Peter, I'm going to have you pass the death sentence.
Yeah, I don't rate Zeno at all. Fair enough. I probably need to give it a little bit more attention. But I say this always with anytime Bandai tried to make Invoker decks, I feel like we should pander to Invoker's skill set, which is, in my opinion, more of a defensive skill set. When we have these gods that don't have protection, that swing at you, and the idea is you try and, say, double strike it or whatever, it's like, well, it's only a 20k, gets up to like 35 or whatever. It's only a double, there's no protection. I don't care about you at this point. Because other decks can play bigger threats with less energy requirement and also less clunky cards. So I always hate when they try and make Invoker aggressive like this. I just don't like it. So personally, I would put it as trash. I would put it with the OG Invoker, personally.
Okay, and finally we have just the quick ones. Big Dong Shlong got support, but he's still in locals. Oob got support. Oob got very nice support in the newest.
I like the card. When I read the card, I'm like, oh, okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, I think Oob is really, really good. Because where Oob struggled is, a lot of his cards are like, he's very good if you get your opponent to 10Z energy. but you could never really get there. You know, you always get him to like 7 or 8. But now the newest one, plus the newest one charges 2 from hand, and it doesn't have your opponent draw 2 instead. So that's just like flat out hand destruction on it. So, and you get the Hercule on turn 2, so that allows you to not tap out. Ub had to tap out on turn 2 to awaken. So you can just go Heroic Prospect to defend yourself. I think Ub is very good at the moment, honestly. I think I would never put him into tier 2. I would never fucking put Ub into tier 2.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's tier 2 worthy. But again, I think he's a deck that if you're probably not gonna understand what he does.
Yeah.
So I think Road tier seems reasonable. I think it probably needs a better boss monster. Personally, I think if it had some more like say 8 drops that work around like like triple strike, dual attack, or some kind of real boss monster when your opponent's got a ton of Z energy. I think that would be like probably what the deck needs, but I just don't think it's good enough in its current state.
You have the 30k dual double boss monster that also charges 3 things into Z energy.
Yeah, the double, yeah.
Yeah, the dual attack double one.
Why is it dual attack?
There is a 8 cost dual attack that says if your opponent has 10 and he charges 3 into Z energy, he gains plus 10 and dual. So
is that Ub only?
It's Ub only, yeah.
Right, okay, that's why I wouldn't have. I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, that one is really good. Plus one thing that I have found in a bit of testing, you can go into the new TP, the new 6 cost, very fucking fast now. Because of Satan, the Hercule Z Unison, the energy that he charges is usually the 5th one. And then you have an Ubin archetype that is a 1 cost, and he has Union Absorb for free. If opponent has 5Z energy, you search a 6 cost in the deck and you slam it on the field. And you immediately go into the critical one, the newest Ub. And then you rip 2 from hand, you swing crit. When he removes himself, he triggers the Goku, who then enters as a 20k blocker for free. And I think he's a dual blocker or something. So there are neat things here that you can do. I would put him into Rogue, basically. I don't think that... I agree with you. I think that it's the deck that if you don't know what it does, if you don't know what it does, it can really punish you. And now it has just more tools to punish you faster if you don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Why is Roshi in tier 2? Is it one of them? No. Hey, High Defined. We are taking into consideration the new TPs that are coming out in April. And Roshi got
No, that's not what he's asking. He's saying there's 2 Roshis, not tier 2.
Yeah. Why is there 2 Roshi? I accidentally put another Roshi. And that's it.
However, I do think one of them was meant to be a Venture.
Yeah.
Which we don't have.
Yeah. Sadly, I forgot. I forgot about Adventure Goku. We can put the other Roshi instead of him. I think black skill as Goku is whatever. Like I hate this deck. So
I mean, I played the my brother was a huge fan of this deck. So I like the deck. I played it quite a lot. I played against it a lot when it was actually relevant in set 6. This black support is not gonna do anything relevant to the deck. Mm-hmm. So I'd rather put it in token tier at this point because this deck will never see the light of play ever again.
Yeah, 1 second, guys.
I wouldn't even play in locals. Like I just would never touch it, which is a shame because once upon a time this was like one of the best decks in the format.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we're talking, set 6. So, quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Why?
I did add the Adventure Goku now, so... but before we conclude, so we have only 3 more, because I did add Frieza double as well. Garlic. Now, a good friend of mine... oh my god, I also forgot Power Wish. Well, fuck it. A good friend of mine said that...
We did have Power Wish somewhere. No, we didn't.
No, we didn't. I can add it. So, a mate of mine told me that this deck is fucking insane. So, and he is good enough for me to believe him when he says that something is fucking crazy. But I don't have any experience with the deck, mate. Honestly, I have never played the Garlic deck. Like, ever. So, I don't know, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, when I read the cards, I'm excited to play it. So even though my experience is probably very similar to yours, when I read the TP cards, I really want to play the deck.
Yeah.
Like, I really play the deck because I think they're so, like, the Unison is so good for the deck, and I think the 8-drop is also so good for the deck as well. So personally, I think it's going to be good. I don't know if it's good enough to hit Rogue. It's definitely, like, personally, I wouldn't say like tier 2, not without like some real, like, something behind it. I would be okay with locals at the bare minimum. I don't know if it's strong enough to say Rogue without knowing, because even when it was out originally, it didn't put up results. So if it didn't put up results when it first came out, even though these cards are pretty good, I don't know. So I think for now we probably have to have it as locals until, I guess.
I believe my mate also when he says that the deck is good, but I have never played it. And like you said, Peter, I know even less about Garlic. So I read the cards and I say like, hey, you get to free play 2 costs. That's not bad. You get to fucking free play 2 costs. That has to be good. So, but I don't... And you can rest your opponent's energy with a big Garlic. So that's also probably good. But I don't know enough about the deck. So my opinion here is completely skewed. Let's say Adventure Goku.
Adventure Goku. It's just the worst number, I think.
Yeah.
Is it better than Vegito? It probably is similar. What's its boss monster?
Yamcha.
Yamcha.
Yamcha,
no.
Yeah, the deck doesn't have a boss monster.
Let me have a look. BT27. Let me have a quick look. Gonna have to check on DBS Deck Planet, the best deck building website there is. Oh yeah, it does have the Z Unison. I remember the Z Unison, Yamcha. Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna say no to this deck. So I think, I do not rate this deck. I remember playing against it. Now it's kind of cute with the. I remember getting caught off guard with the double strike crit because it works. I didn't realize it worked when you on Master Roshi cards at the time. So I remember getting caught off by it on one attack. Personally, probably I'm gonna go a bit wild and say we're looking at low rogue or locals. Maybe rogue at a push. I do not rate this deck, which is going to be quite controversial. I think people are not going to have the same opinion as me on that one.
You think?
Is it better than Vegito? I don't. Unless you're, I don't think it's better than Vegito.
So you think that it's rogue?
I
mean,
rogue.
I think we can make an argument that it's rogue. So.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's tier 2.
Yeah. I think it has the one thing that you hate the most. It has a very good way into Celzino. So, but you need to survive until Celzino. Power Wish. I think Power Wish is neat. Like, it's... I feel like this deck is very strong. It's very expensive, so we barely even ever see it. But when we do see it, I think that it is good. It has the Oolong that can, when he minus a 7, he can stop a lot of decks in the game.
Yeah. I think it's just a gimmick deck, personally. I know someone that plays it, and obviously they like it a lot, but my gut reaction, bro, is it's a gimmick deck, so locals and trash tier.
I would put him into Rogue. I think he's better than locals, but he's not very much better, right? Because I'm finding trouble looking at like Adventure Goku and Oob, and I mean Oob is better now, and being said like Power Wish is kind of shit compared to those, So I'm like, I'm gonna give it like one last fucking go. So. Funny Peter, every tier list this Power Wish is just going lower and lower for me. So, and that's it, guys. The last one is Magenta, and you all know that Magenta is tier 0. Magenta is officially sponsoring the Lookout, so the Lookout is owned by the Red Ribbon Army. So that's why we need to put the boss in tier 0. And I can tell you, Magenta is not very happy with Broly. He doesn't like startups. Broly is like a startup Magenta. He's trying to get into this business, but he lacks movie villains from all Dragon Ball movies. That just tells you that Magenta is better than Broly. Magenta has better HR and recruitment skills. He has everyone fucking working for him. So, but yeah. I think that is it. So, thanks, Pete, for... Is there a strong strategy with Mehi that it's being into tier 1? Yeah, let me just jump in quickly and answer you this. Mehi... I think the only thing that was keeping Mehi away from tier 1 was Vegito being a better deck than Mehi is. And Mehi is just now kind of... Vegito is bad. Mehi is much better. He has counter, he has free play, draw free, he plays a shit ton of fucking cards the entire time. He's a replacement for Vegito, basically, at this point. I believe. Peter thinks that it might be tier 2. I think that is tier 1. Why would Magenta actually be on the list? Well, because he owns the Lookout. So, this VOD will be purged after upload. Anyway, so I'm off. Thank you, Peter, for joining me.
Thanks for having me as always.
Yeah, and thanks all of you guys for joining. After 4 years, I finally had a birthday stream. Because last time it was when Fusion World released, and fuck that noise. So anyway, I love you too, Greek. So thanks for joining me, and go watch Locals, it's on Deck Planet. And I'll catch all of you in the next one. See you guys.
Bye.